Hey folks, how are things going? I might be a bit late with the monthly roundup, but August started with a bit of a bang, so this got postponed by a few days. When it comes to Grand Blue Fantasy, we still have the Evokers event running up, at least for today. Don't forget to finish 20 bucks in it. But we got the Hunter x Hunter collab starting in a couple of days. Again, never really been a fan of this show, but hopefully the collab is going to be fun. If it follows the steps of other collabs, it's likely going to be either a two-parter, in which case part 2 might be coming out either on the 12th or the 13th, or a three-parter if they really want to try and blow this out of the park. The event characters have been announced already. It's going to be Gon and Killua, while the others are just going to be stuck in the gacha. They should be doing some free gacha pools for the collab as well, but I don't really like counting on those. Not to mention, we still have summer units coming out, as well as Grand Sariel coming out on August 31st, so the chances of me spending a single pool on this banner is basically null. We also have the Artifact Double Drop campaign up, which will go on until almost the end of the collab, and it's going to be replaced by some Skyscope missions on the 20th, which will accompany us through an Eternal Gaiden event, Manatura and Shield release, Virn Exploration release, down until the new story event on the 30th, as well as the half anniversary campaign. And that's it for August. September, of course, we're going to have the new story event on the first week, and then the Dark Guild War on the second, followed by a rerun event, Rise of the Beast, Dread Barrage sometime in October, but this is nice and chill. This also means the next Jotunheim fight is likely going to be in November though, so do watch out for that. When it comes to preparing for the Dark Jotunheim fight, I think I should be ready with my kind of basic AD setup. I have a second Fallen Sword to level up. I did get a second Filial Spine, but at this point I don't know if I want to burn bars on this, especially considering that the second Filial one is only really used with a Zoimos setup, and that's 150 gold moons that I haven't spent quite yet. One thing I should probably get into is Agastya, trying to get some more staves because I've got basically nothing, but one thing I'm a little bit scared about is going to be the focus on the higher level nightmares, because Nightmare and 95s are basically going to be just for the preliminaries, and day 1, outside of the first 100 Nightmare 100s, we start with the 150s already. So I don't know how much good it's going to be to try and focus on short burst setups, rather than try and put something together for survivability, in which case trying to push for more Hexa runs from my Densha and finally maxing out the Draconics might be a better idea. Pools-wise, I don't really have any targets outside of Grand Sariel, but even when it comes to Grand Sariel, I'm afraid I'm going to have to just try and YOLO. I should probably do a proper account review at this point, because I still have a lot of stuff to work on, and I need to clear my mind, set down a few ideas on where I want to proceed from now. When it comes to team comp, got my Eternal, got my Evoker, managed to get lucky, got a Bowman from the free draws. Ilsa, of course, is here and she's ringed, and I managed to get Valentine Tigers as well, so burst is nice and set. Long-term content, I'm missing Summer Magus, I guess, but we've got these spells here. Hecate has been honestly doing quite fine, even though she needs artifacts, but fingers crossed with these double drops, I can finally start equipping everyone. Kind of forgot this was a thing for half a second. There's a few characters whom I did not put this one on. Thankfully I remembered to do 6 at least, so he's likely going to be a very prominent member on my team setups coming this next Jotunheim fight. So it looks like August, outside of the usual grind, it's just going to be Hexa, maybe a little bit of Agastya, and maybe try and start Phase 0. And so we move on to Sword of Convaleria. Inanna came home in 70, but I've actually spent an extra 20 pools in here just for the sake of this new event. I wasn't expecting any other dupe, but this way, with the other free pools that we get, I can actually go hit the 150 total and get myself another 1000 look sites back. This means my heart pity went down to 150, and since my next big picks are going to be Mekametha, Spinangle, and maybe Lukamar, that leaves me with about 150 pools to spend from here until November. I still don't know who I'm going to spend this on. I might actually try for Marseille, because again, the first 10 pool is going to be 50% off, and Marseille should be guaranteed within 100 pools, and that might leave me another 50 to try for Felin. If either of them comes home any sooner than these 150 pools, I might still have something to try for some of the other Spiral Destiny units, because again, trying to hold out and not pull for Izerind is going to be extremely hard. Thank God Mekameta is next, because otherwise my hands would have had holes in them. Now, when it comes to the current events, Expedition has been alright, currently level 15, about to go to 16, but I'm pretty sure it's going to take 2 days now. These things are starting to cost a little bit, but the next big upgrade is going to be at level 22. That's when we get the daily stuff. And I get half a feeling that the dailies are actually going to have a lot more origin gems that we can spend in the shop. Speaking of, I heard that Kia was actually the wrong choice. I should have gone for the Astral Shards instead. But this is all just time limited. There's no refreshing these. And we're going to have to empty this shop eventually. Not to mention, the next time I'm going to spend Astral Shards on anything, it's going to be once the next Astral Forge comes out, because that one is going to have the weapons for Lutfi, Inanna and Rico, and I need to try and get as many swords for Inanna as humanly possible, so I'm actually just saving for that one, because otherwise my Nocturnal Glow is already maxed, Dawn Moon is sadly locked at 1 star, but Aisha has been doing fine without. I might want one more Army Breaking Spear, just in case I get Pamina. Nightmare Puppet I would enjoy 1 or 2 more dupes, but I already have the Nirvana maxed out. I would be spending those points for just a 33% chance for Kvare, which doesn't really feel smart. Other than these, I guess more copies of a Shield of Justice would be welcome, only 2 stars, but this one too is locked in a box with other weapons I don't really want to get my hands on. When it comes to the rest of the events, Odyssey has been going way too smoothly. I'm honestly surprised by how many levels I've been able to knock off. I managed to hit 90, struggling a little bit against 90% damage reduction, but ever since, I'm gonna be honest, after I got to level 100, I've done a few quick explodes. This gave me so many materials. It actually pushed my Pioneer level way too high. I'm almost done with the 3rd level on all of my Pioneering wheel, and I've basically been just zooming past all the other levels, mostly on difficulties 6 or 7, currently up to 126. I think I might actually hit like 140, 150 in a few days. The plan for these actually hasn't changed. I'm going Path of Founding first. This one is also just slightly behind. I should be able to clear 2, if not 3 more stages this week. I maxed out Astra. Of course, she was going to be the first one. With the free stuff, I maxed out Metha and Cole, which helped leveling up throughout the stages. Revia is already at 13, but she's waiting a little bit, because the next one is going to be her. After Luvata, it's likely going to be SP Nanna. We got the first level, 12 out of 80 for level 2. Vare has gotten 1. Vare also is on a different path here, Oath-keeping. I've picked 1 to 1. I'm going to slowly level everything up, possibly wait for more quest rewards as well, see how things go over there. But otherwise, I'm just currently farming for Luata, because the moment I'm done getting Kvare to 5-star, and it shouldn't take long, Luata is going to take that slot. I love my Fiery Witch, she's going to get maxed out. Now, when it comes to the calendar, I do want to go back and stream the rest of the Spiral of Destinies. I got a little bit sidetracked from the new quests, plus the extra couple of videos that I've tossed here and there, but my main priority here is going to be to go back and stream the rest of the Spiral of Destinies. Hopefully before August 15th, because August 15th we're getting the Tower of Adversity, 16th Rico's release, and 29th the Dungeon Meshi collab. Hopefully they're not going to do too many time gates for this one, because I would love to be able to play through a decent chunk of this in one go, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Still, very hyped for this one too. And so we land on Genshin Impact. 5.8 has just begun, but I've got to admit I'm not all that interested in Effa. Being a lightning damage dealer with a whole new reaction makes her a really interesting character, and I'm sure her backstory is going to be great as well. But I am honestly scared shitless about 6.0 and the future, and I get the feeling that if Ineffa actually becomes a real important member of a new electrocharged team, I might want to wait for a possible rerun in order to pick her up, because we've got another Hex and Zirkel coming out, Nicole, and there's no way I can skip such a beauty. Nicole will be an absolute must pick, regardless of element, regardless of kit. Aino apparently is going to be a 4-star, she's coming out in 6.0, thankfully. And as always, thank God Varka comes here to let me save up even more pools. Jahoda honestly feels like a bit of a 4-star too. Not that big a fan of her design, even though she still looks cute, but she might be one of the more easily skippable upcoming units. Durin, again, male, easy skip. And then Sandrone hits. With the huge marionette behind her, I really hope this is going to be the combo unit that we didn't get back when Laini and Lynette were first announced. Llama comes out in 6.0, Llama gets all the pools that she needs. She has to come home, there's no two ways about it. As a Dendro unit, she likely revives Nilo as well. Nefer looks like another Dendro unit with the full green, and honestly I don't know what it is between me and Snake Women, but Nefer might also be very high in the must pull list. Lins, again, thank God, another male unit. I'm a little bit wary of the fact that it's going to come out in 6.0 as well. I really don't like it when Genshin releases 2 units per banner, because that is devastating for people's savings. And lastly, how are you supposed to skip Columbina? There's absolutely no way. Not to mention, Alice finally becoming playable. How are you not going to pull for Alice? There's absolutely no way. And this adds up to 6 whole characters that I want to pull for in 6.0. And I get the feeling that that might be 2 or 3 too many. Considering that I haven't even started playing the event, I think I can keep the count as 183. Lauma comes out and she is a must pick. Again, Varka is a likely skip. Now, when it comes to the Archons, or in this case, the Archon stand-in, we got Nahida in 3.2, Furina in 4.2, we've got Mavika in 5.3, one version a bit too late, but they were focusing a lot on the main story here. So there might be a chance Columbina is going to be coming out either 6.2 or 6.3, in which case she eats up to 160 more pools. For the others, there might still be an empty slot. I still think Jahoda might actually be another 4-star, but if that's the case, Alice has to be the next one. Nicole has to come home, which leaves likely one more character between 6.3 and 6.7. So either I try and go for Nefer, or I try and go for Sandrona. This leaves me at minus 23 though. Still, 150-51, and all these problems fly away. It's honestly crazy that with all this stuff I've spent, especially for the weapons, I have no idea how I keep losing the weapon 75-25%. I can potentially still pick everyone up in 6.0. Got 12 more days until the summer event ends. I almost forgot the reason why I was here. Let's get our fates. Finish rounding things up. And go do our standard banner pools. I don't think I've gotten a 5-star in a very long time. I would still like a Mizuki. There she is. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's actually not that bad. I think she goes to like C4 or C5 like this. Still, I'm missing a Mizuki that I would have very much liked to get. But apparently there's going to be another standard 5-star selector coming out sometime soon, and I can just grab myself a Mizuki from there. Yeah, this is a nice C4 Dihya. Moving on, we've got Starreal, that has been almost completely bleeding me dry of pools, but when they keep releasing characters this cute, it's honestly kind of difficult. I actually went for Saber's Lightcon as well, even though my bad luck for weapons has been brought to Star Rail too. Still, I've been getting insanely lucky with the characters, so I honestly cannot complain. I'm left with 115 pools at the moment, plus a lot more stuff I can exchange in this shop, 48 more passes from here, as well as the embers. I should be hitting Seridra with 170-ish, because I still have some main story quests to play through. But if I go for Hasilens, Seridra is going to be a big skip. Thankfully, she's just a dedicated buffer for a couple of characters, so it's not even going to hurt that much. 3.6, that's going to be March 7th, which is going to be another kind of a must pick, but the Hua XP is apparently going to be moved to 4.0 and further, because alongside March 7th also comes the new Dan Heng, the protection one. I hear protection Dan Heng is going to be free, and thank God for that. But then we have another very big problem. Cyrene. There's absolutely no way I can skip Cyrene. So I'm going to have to win at least another 50-50 in the next 3 banners, or potentially skip March 7th, which is not something I really want to do. And what's more, attempting to pick everyone up is going to put me in very hot waters when it comes to 4.0. But now that we've got our monthly tickets, we actually have 19 for the basic Stellar Warp, so nothing on the first one. And nothing on the second one. A little bit more mats. And well, that was still to be expected. And then suite number 3, Zenless. I've got to admit I don't really have a full pull-in plan for this one, but I've just been catching up a little bit with the main story. I've got the summer event to begin, but we'll see what we can do. In the meantime,
got a new ghost story to share?
Managed to get Yuzua. I'm not gonna pull for Alice, I'm gonna try for Orphe instead.
Ready and waiting.
Because Soldier 11, even though she's M3, even though she has her engine here, she hasn't been doing so well. I'm sure a little bit of a problem comes from just skill issue, but I get the feeling a newer, better fire damage dealer might actually help me out a lot. Get ourselves our pools, and let's go spend the base ones. A single A rank. Okay, double A rank this month. Moving on, we've got Girls Frontline, where the addition of Chiwa actually made my fire team a lot more fun. Looking at formations, physical is basically just a depowered fire. This isn't really going anywhere, but I don't even know who to pull for to try and fix this thing. Fire has been insanely fun. Electric is basically waiting for Andoris and Lena, but I think Andoris should be the next one. Meanwhile, Freeze has just gotten AK-15 out in Cien, so it's going to wait a very long time for its 4th member. Erosion, 2nd full team. I think I might want to level up Lotta just in case there's going to be 6-man maps, but otherwise Springfield has been such a godsend for AoE, healing and extra health. And lastly, Hydro, who just like Freeze is also waiting for its 4th member. Going forward, I think the next units, or at least the closest ones, should be Andoris, Belka, but I don't know what happened here, because Belka used to be in tier 0, and even if Leva ended up being a way better damage dealer, if you need to run a full Electro team, wouldn't it be better to just have both? In any case, Belka is pretty cute, but I'm honestly not vibing with the green hair, so I was always planning to skip her, which means first closest character that I want to pull for is going to be Andoris, hopefully coming out next patch. Lena I've been waiting for a very long time at this point. I don't even care if she's down in T2, she has a very wide electric grid AoE that I really want to try, but afterwards we should be getting some easily skippable units like Robella, Lane, Florence, maybe even Lind, so all I want to focus on after that is just going to be Nikita, Leva and Alva. Even though I get the feeling that if or once I get Andoris, she isn't really going to work together with Mosin, but rather as a tank for some other team, the same way that Springfield and Sabrina are now working in Corrosion, for example. Then we'll see what happens with Leva. I've seen a couple of animations, she looks absolutely amazing, and thankfully the gacha has been really easy, really forgiving. I've been able to pull for basically all the units I wanted. I skipped like 2 or 3 at this point. I'm still with 74 pulls left over, but if we check here in this shop, they actually took a while to bring these to global, but that is 109 target access pools. Looking at the future, I think going for 5 more units while skipping 3 to 4, I think it's actually going to be really feasible. Not to mention the fact that for a lot of these characters, I was actually able to go pick up their weapons too. And now, 45 pulls until the next one, and we're actually up to 68. I haven't touched this since last month. 70 standard banner pulls in a month, it's actually insane. What the hell? Current target is going to stay Jeonju until she hits C6. Even though I get the feeling that Tololo is going to get there before her. Okay, there we go. A little bit before PT2. Come on, Jeonju. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. She goes up to Fortification 4, applying Vulnerable, 2 targets out in the open. If anything, with all these new units, one thing I've been struggling a little bit with has been the neural helixes, because even though I've been trying to farm as many of these as possible, there are still some, especially characters I haven't been focusing on that much, or characters that are a little bit too new, for which I haven't really been able to get the full neural helix. But this is something that comes with time, so I'm honestly not too worried. Alright then, and here we are with a somewhat complete calendar. I need to catch up to Honkai Star Rail a little bit. I've left the main story a little bit behind, even though the thing I want to do the most is just to get back to Storcon Valeria and keep playing this Battle of Destiny. But I guess that's something I can leave for like next week, or at least before the Tower of Ascension releases. Then it's probably just full-on Grand Blue Fantasy grind for a little while afterwards, but still, that Meshi collab has got to be another stream. Alright then, I guess that's gonna be it for me for the moment. As always, thanks a lot for watching, let me know what your gacha plans for this month are, and see you guys around soon. Ciao!